In the year 1857, the entire Indian subcontinent erupted into the very first major armed rebellion against British authority. For decades, colonial historians dismissed this event as a minor, localized mutiny carried out by disgruntled soldiers. Indian historian V.D. Savarkar rejected that diminished narrative, defining the event with a highly specific formulation: India's first war of independence. To understand the mechanics of 1857, we must analyze it as a three-phase systemic collapse: a buildup of underlying pressures, a geographic explosion, and a total administrative restructuring. Framing this event as a systemic collapse, rather than a spontaneous emotional outburst, allows us to map the precise fractures that caused a massive continent-spanning uprising. We must establish a crucial baseline. Before 1857, the British Crown did not govern India directly. The sovereign administrator of this massive territory was a private entity, the East India Company. A profit-driven monopoly faces severe structural vulnerability when it attempts to govern a complex subcontinent. Its prime directive is financial extraction, not social stability. The ensuing conflict represents the catastrophic failure of an overextended corporate monopoly attempting to act as a state. This system failed because of three compounding vectors of pressure acting simultaneously: political, economic, and socio-religious. On the political front, the company aggressively consumed independent princely states using a legal mechanism called the doctrine of lapse. Economically, aggressive taxation and extraction policies dismantled local industries, stripping wealth from farmers, artisans, and landlords alike. Socio-religiously, the indigenous population faced severe, continuous interference in their traditional customs. The architect of this accelerated expansion was Governor-General Lord Dalhousie. His administration pushed the structural integrity of the company's rule to the breaking point. By alienating the royalty, the peasantry, and the religious classes all at once, the company ensured that any localized friction would ignite the entire subcontinent. A highly pressurized system requires a localized, immediate spark to transition into active failure. That tactical catalyst arrived in the form of the new Enfield rifle. Word spread that the new rifle cartridges were greased with cow and pig fat. To load the weapon, a soldier had to bite the cartridge, breaking absolute religious taboos for both Hindu and Muslim sepoys. On March 29, 1857, Mangal Pandey initiated the first act of violent resistance against British officers at Barrackpore. Weeks later, on May 10th, the official systemic start of the wider mutiny broke out in Meerut. The very next day, May 11th, rebels captured Delhi and installed Bahadur Shah II as the symbolic emperor of India. The rifle controversy did not create the hatred for British rule. It provided the necessary flashpoint to convert abstract structural grievances into kinetic warfare. This antique map of British India reveals the true geographic scale of the uprising. For the Mpsc exam, we can track the decentralized leadership network using a simple retention string: May D Khan Shah Luk B. The sequence starts at the origin in Meerut, moving immediately to the symbolic capital of Delhi under Bahadur Shah II. The conflict expanded eastward to Kanpur, where local resistance was directed by Nana Sahib. The central theater anchored around Jhansi, commanded by Rani Lakshmibai until she fell in battle in June 1858. The eastern flank locked in at Lucknow under Begum Hazrat Mahal, and Bihar, commanded by Kunwar Singh. Gwalior also emerged as a vital secondary node, with Tatia Tulp connecting the central Indian campaigns. This geographic spread proves that even without a unified central command, the underlying pressures were so uniform that the resistance functioned as a massive, parallel rejection of company rule across the region. By July 1859, British forces had physically destroyed the resistance and officially suppressed the rebellion. The sheer scale of the violence forced a harsh realization in London. The East India Company was catastrophically incompetent at managing continent-scale territory. The British Parliament responded with the Government of India Act 1858. This legislation executed a complete liquidation of the East India Company, stripping it of all administrative power. Absolute authority over the Indian subcontinent transferred directly to the British Crown. This legal pivot was the ultimate consequence of 1857. It terminated the company's century-long control of the subcontinent and replaced it with the direct mechanisms of the British state. The Crown replaced the title of Governor-General with Viceroy, establishing a singular representative of the monarch in India. The Viceroy's immediate mandate was to restructure the Indian military forces, intentionally diluting the power of local regiments. To prevent a repeat of the 1857 uprising, the Crown implemented a new, overarching political doctrine: divide and rule. Administrators systematically fractured the socio-religious unity that had allowed Hindus and Muslims to briefly fight side by side during the conflict. The rebellion was militarily defeated, but its true legacy is that it successfully destroyed the East India Company, permanently altering the trajectory of British rule and Indian resistance.